Let's talk about which triangle congruence theorem you'd use to prove the two triangles are congruent. As always, if this video helps you, please like and subscribe for more content. I have an entire playlist of geometry. Now, first off, I'm just going to list our big four and then kind of our special case. We've got side, side, side. That is showing that we have three pairs of congruent sides. We have side, angle, side, which is two sides and the angle that is in between them. We have angle, angle, side, so two angles and then another side not between the two angles. And we've got angle, side, angle, meaning we have two pairs of congruent angles and the side that's between them. And our special case for right triangles is hypotenuse leg. Now, I don't have any right triangles here, but just make sure you look for those. That's that special case. All right, so let's begin here. We have a side congruent to this side. We have this side congruent to this side. So we've got two sides, and then these two sides meet at an angle that is also congruent. So this is two sides and the angle between them. So this will be side, angle, side is the congruence theorem that would show those are equal. Next up, this angle congruent to this angle. This angle congruent to this angle. And you'll see that the two angles are connected by a side that I've given you is congruent. So we have angle, side, angle. So that is the congruence theorem for this one. And again, it's anytime we have two angles and a side, we're going to be able to prove congruence. But there is a difference between these two situations where we have two angles and then a side that's outside, and we have two angles with the side that is between them. All right, let's go down here. We've got an angle congruent to an angle and another angle congruent to this. And we do have a congruent side, but again, you'll notice this is not the side that is between the two angles. It is an outside side. So we're going to call this angle, angle, side. All right, let's take one more step with this. Now, I've hand-drawn these, and what you'll see is two triangles being formed. We've got this triangle, and we've got this triangle. Now, I have a pair of congruent sides, and then you'll see here I have another pair of congruent sides, but we would need a third to be able to use the sides. So it feels like we don't have enough information. One thing I would urge you to do when you see situations like this is use your past geometry skills to mark in other things you know. For example, you know that this angle and this angle are equal because they are vertical angles. If you recall, vertical angles are angles that are across an intersection from one another, and they are always equal. So in fact, we have side, angle, and side. So we can prove congruence with that theorem, even though we didn't have the angles marked in. I would always look and see if you have two triangles that are meeting, can I mark in some vertical angles? All right, another thing to look for, another property, see here we've got a pair of congruent sides, and we've got another pair of congruent sides. Now here, you see, these don't really meet. We don't have an angle. We don't have anything up here. We haven't been told anything about these angles. And in fact, I guess I should say these two angles wouldn't really help us. But these two triangles share a side, this side. And if they share a side, that side must be the same length for both triangles. This is called the reflexive property. Reflexive property. Basically, if two shapes share a side, then that side must be the same. I guess it could also be they share an angle, but in this case, they share a side. So because they share that, obviously the sides are the same, so we can prove these two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. This is another thing to look for right away when you're being presented with two triangles, is do they share a side? Of course, sharing an angle or sharing a side helps us to mark in some other things we know need to be congruent. So just be very careful with, number one, which of the congruence theorems will actually work, but also look to mark in things that your past geometry skills would help you know. As always, please like and subscribe for more geometry content.